Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Shazi Gio and I've been vlogging from the last 16-15 years from the Canadian perspective, and I've been living in Toronto for a long while. And before we continue, please have a look at all my previous vlogs and videos since I've started the channel and see for yourself the value of being Canadian. So before we continue, I want you to check out my channel and see what you can associate yourself with being Canadian. Because I'm from Canada. So bearing that in mind, we're going to deep dive into today's topic. As you know, that there are a lot of people, ethnic backgrounds in Canada. And for me, immigrating to Canada was not the first country that I've lived for such a long time. Because the way I was brought up, I did my university in the United States of America. And I lived in America for several years. Then for a good number of years, I went to UK and I lived in United Kingdom, London, for a good number of years. And then I've also lived in the Middle East, in Kuwait, right next to Qatar. So I'm not one of those people you can say that, oh, because you came to Canada, the way you behave, you're like ethnic extremist. I'm not one of those. Because I have a variety exposure of international experience. And that is the reason why, if you check some of my vlogs, my channel is so different and so broad-minded and open-minded than if you take a look at any Indian YouTuber from Canada. Their views are totally extremist, hardcore, negative, toxic views. And they promote that you should be more Indian. So that's what I'm going to get in, because the title of this is The Indian Fatigue in Canada. People are getting sick and tired of people from subcontinent, such as Pakistan and India. They are deporting Pakistanis and they are deporting a bunch of Indians. Why is this happening? Ask yourself. As you know, the Modi government had a problem with one of the Sikh Sardars who was living in Brampton, and he was a very popular singer. And he tried to join the Canadian Liberal Party with Justin Trudeau. Apparently, Modi didn't like that. So he ordered his assassination. And this poor Canadian Indian Sikh was murdered. And then after that, there was a domino effect, a rift between Canadian government and Indian government. But that's just one issue. That is not the main issue. The main issue is, if you talk to anybody who's in Canada from India, they're going to say, look at our point of view. We're Indian, look at our religion, Hinduism, look at our politics, the Modi government, things like that, being anti-Muslim. For example, Indians are very anti-Muslim, to be honest. So, and a personal thing with my story is that when I immigrated to Toronto, I never even lived in Scarborough or Brampton or Mississauga, where a majority of these people are. So, and I've heard stories, like when I speak to Canadian blokes, hey, Shaz, hey, what's up? Yeah, have you been to Brampton? They got like little India over there. I'm like, oh really? Oh my God, must be scary. So that's the kind of jokes we crack, because I live in downtown. I never move away from downtown. Like maybe as far as I go to North York, and that's it. And Richmond Hill. But I'm not one of those people who's gonna like physically get an apartment in Brampton. I cannot even perceive myself like that. The kind of international experiences that I've had living in the United States, living in the United Kingdom, living in Kuwait, Middle East, and now I'm living in Canada, I'm a very broad-minded person, like I cannot even relate myself to Indian people. Yeah, I look Indian, I feel like, Indian, but I do not speak or talk and behave like Indians. Like to be honest, like just have a look at this clip.
Just because you have a passport does not make you Canadian. Many people from India living in the country that don't share our values, our culture, or our history. They live in isolated enclaves, speak their own languages, fly foreign flags, and raise their kids with values disconnected from Canadian society. That's not assimilation. It's occupation by culture. They benefit from our systems, public sector jobs, welfare, and diversity quotas, but give nothing back to the soul of this nation. No shared heritage, no loyalty to Canadian traditions, just entitlement and identity politics. They're in Canada, but they're not Canadian. And pretending otherwise is a lie that is tearing apart this country.
Now, did you see that clip? That's what I mean. You see, the thing is, just because you have a Canadian passport does not make you Canadian. You have to behave, you have to act, you have to live a certain lifestyle to be tagged and to be recognized as Canadian. And these people who come from India and Pakistan, they don't do any of that. There's a very good video that I made when I was back in Toronto. It was about a Pakistani man who did not speak a word of English, and then he was chased by the Toronto police cruisers, and he went all the way to his apartment, where the police just asked him to open the door. Because this idiot didn't speak English, who was an old fellow from Pakistan, and he didn't understand what the police officers were asking him to do. He never opened the door. So the police officers naturally, I agree with the police. If you don't even speak the language of Canada, then why are you there? You gotta learn the language with the country that you're originating from. They shot him dead. They literally shot him dead, straight up. And this video I have made, you can check the link to this video on my channel. And it is that sad. These people don't want to assimilate. These people don't want to speak English. They do not want to talk to white Canadian blokes or women or families or businessmen or office people. They just want to remain within their small circle and stay Indian. That's it. Even Pakistanis I know. So the example I'm giving you is of a Pakistani who is the same circle of mindset. So this is the problem with these people. And then the thing with me is that I'm not even a hardcore Muslim. I'm a multi-faith religious person. What does that mean? I'm a member of the Muslim faith, I'm a member of the Christian faith, and I'm a member of the Buddhist SGI group in Toronto, the West chapter. What does that say about me versus those Indian people? The Indian people don't even recognize Muslims. They don't even recognize Christianity. Forget Buddhism, So the thing is that these Indian people and these Pakistani people, they're so extremist, and the topic is about Indian people from Modi's country. That's what I'm talking about. These Hindus who come here, they're just so extremist. They don't even want to assimilate. They don't even want to talk to, like, the way that they treat foreigners who are living in India, they beat the hell out of them. They don't even sit down and have dinner or lunch with them. If there's a Christian person in India, they're just gonna ignore, oh, you're below Hindus, and they're gonna beat the crap out of them. And this is very normal in India. If you're an ethnic minority, you're gonna get bullied. Very badly you're gonna get bullied. And I've seen physically myself, some social media clips. They've burnt people alive because they're not Hindus. And this is very serious. And whatever is happening in Canada, Canadians getting sick and tired of these people. And I agree with them. And I'll give you more reasons to get sick and tired of these people. Just because you have been living and immigrated to Canada does not make you Canadian. You gotta live like me, the way I live. You see? I speak the Canadian mindset. I assimilate with different Canadian personalities and individuals and groups and social chat and choose, etc. I participate. I'm a member of the Salvation Army. I speak to every kind of person, and I go participate in community service. People appreciate my services in Canada because I'm such a broad-minded person who is from, Pakistan and who's originally, who's a Muslim, and I'm a good guy, I'm a good Samaritan. I went to Florida, everybody was like, literally, the Phi Delta Data community fraternity, they were like so praising me. Hey, Shah, you're the Sultan, and I know because I know how to deal with people. But if you take a typical Indian guy or from Pakistani guy, they're just going to be like, oh no, come to my point of view. So this is the problem with these people. And then these people who come from subcontinent, they immigrate and then they don't cultural diffuse with the Canadian society. They make their own independent flags and they raise their kids to be different from Canadians. They do not assimilate, they do not integrate, they do not share the values of Canadians, and then they seek apart and live in isolated segments of population within Canada, and they call themselves not even Canadian. They don't deserve to be called Canadians. These people should be punished and deported back to India. This is what I'm getting at. They don't, just because you have a Canadian passport does not make you Canadian. The things that I went through, I had to build relationships in university with white boys and white girls. I had to be a member of a fraternity. I had to do certain things the proper way in American culture. Then I came to Canada. I integrated with Canadian people, Canadian individuals, and I lived the Canadian way. I went to see the ice hockey matches in Rogers Centre, and I integrated myself. I learned what is the rules of ice hockey. But these people from India, oh my God, they don't know anything else besides cricket. They're so freaking narrow-minded because they're supporters of Modi government. And I cannot associate myself with such garbage people. I say myself, kick them out. Then the other problem is these Indian people who come, or these Pakistani people who come to Canada, they just take benefits from the country and keep taking these benefits, and they keep spoiling their own children, and they even are a bunch of scammers and they're a bunch of criminals, and they give nothing back to the Canadian society. You see, this is the problem. You have to contribute, you have to give something back. You can't just come to Canada and take. And this is where the Canadian and the Donald Trump administration has deported, like a mass deportation of Indian and Pakistani. And I'm so happy. Please do it more. We need to, there are virus-infested ethnic group. We don't need these people. Kick them out. Because what did they contribute? Me. Look at me. I have a YouTube channel. I've got 3 YouTube channels. And I contribute myself. I work my ass off just to make a single vlog and then edit and then do research and development. What do these people do? They just blah, 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 blah. I'll give you one example. When I was going in a bus near the Brampton area, and all of a sudden there were these 2 Indian men. They were standing in the middle of the road. There was no bus stop. And they just yanked their hands and they told the white driver to stop the bus. And I could see the white driver, what the hell are these guys doing? I told the white driver, because I was standing there talking to him at that time. I said, no, just drive, just ignore them. And then he just said, had a word with them. You gotta stop. Because of me, the driver, he had backup because I was pushing it. Go against them, don't stop. He didn't let them inside the bus. And he said, you gotta stand in a bus stop and then the bus will come. So these people, they break rules. They're bloody criminals. Like I gave you the example of that old man who didn't speak English and the OPP killed him, shot him dead for not opening his apartment door. This is the problem with these Indian people and Pakistani people.
Hey, where did all the Canadians go? The GTA does not look like Canada anymore. It's more like the third world countries out there. Now, when I say Canadians, I mean Canadians, not like color of their skin, the people that adopted the Canadian culture. This can be all races, including white people, brown people, black people, yellow people. I don't know how many colors there are. As long as they adopted the Canadian culture, they're not pushing some third world country kind of, behavior. That's good. Right now I'm in Caledon, and Caledon is also becoming Little India, I guess. And I don't want that. I just want to be in Canada because this is Canada. And I love Indian people. Obviously, I'm Indian. Well, I'm born here. My parents are Indian. But the truth is, as long as they don't adapt the Canadian ways, it just looks dumb. I've been to India. I don't want that to be over here. Sure, it's okay for like a month because I was there for a month. Like I can adapt to that style. But when you come here, I want to go back to Canada. Anyway, let me know. What do you all think about this? Where should I go? Caledon, yeah, Caledon's not that great. Maybe Caledon East. But yeah, where is it where it's more Canadian culture? Doesn't matter the culture, like their background, as long as it's Canadian.
This is the problem. And they do not contribute anything back to the Canadian society. Let them see and make a YouTube channel and talk 2 words in pro-Canada. They can't. They don't have the capacity to be Canadian. Just because your mama or your papa called you back to Canada, you're Canadian? No, you're not Canadian. You don't even freaking go out in white areas. I live in white areas. I can't even set my foot inside these Indian areas. It's full of stink and garbage and smells bad odor. I remember when I went to UK in London, there's a place called Southall, and they're full of these Indian people there and these Pakistanis. I couldn't even smell for 2 seconds because it's bad odor, because there was no garbage collection because the white people don't want to clean the garbage. This is how bad it is wherever these Indian and Pakistanis are. And I cannot live with Indian people, to be honest. I live in white areas. I live in Eastern European areas. I live in white areas. I live in Canadian mixed areas with Chinese people. But I will never live with these Indian people. They're so disgusting, to be honest. Oh my God. And then about jobs, and then lowering your standards to get a job on lesser pay because, certain Indian or Pakistani people, they work for low salaries. So watch this clip.
This video goes out to the people that tell me that I and other Canadians have to learn to accept the new way of doing things. We have to start taking jobs for less money. We have to stop being so demanding on work conditions. We have to learn how to settle for less. I say fuck you. Okay, I say fuck you. We spent years and years and years fighting for the lifestyle that we have in this country. We spent years struggling to get rates and wages up to where they should be. Trying to get minimum wage increased all the time, and it's still not anywhere near high enough, but we're still working on it. A lifestyle is not something you're gifted. It's something that you work hard and you fight for, and we've reached this pinnacle in our lives. And you want us to dial it back because other people that are coming here are prepared to do that? Fuck you. I ain't dialing shit back. Shouldn't have to.
So that's what I mean. These people who come from the subcontinent, they automatically bring their values and they impose their values onto the Canadian society. No, you can't do that. You're in Canada. You have to adapt the Canadian mindset with you and become Canadian. So they work for less money and they cut corners and they bring shortcuts and they turn into scammers. See, this is the Indian way of mind. And this goes same for Pakistanis. And I cannot accept that. See, I got a proper education. I work for good companies in Canada. And I'm not these kind of people who will cut corners and who will do shortcuts, These people, they will lower their standards and they will tell you that you've been living in Canada for all your life, that you should become like them. It can't happen that way. And you saw this clip. How many times did this bloke cussed at these ethnic group?
God, this is so funny. Their actions have brought the biggest downfall for each and everyone who was living there peacefully, were also born and brought up. Now, I don't care about the people who are actually being brought up over here according to the Western standards. It's the people like us, the immigrants who came into this country and never decided to change ourselves. Ever. We just went ahead and told ourselves like, what a piece of shit I was back home. I'm gonna be the same piece of shit over here and bring everyone down. Today, the scenario is that no one actually bloody likes Indian people. You walk around somewhere, they see you with a bad eye because they know that we people are criminals, we people are the scammers, and we people are a piece of shit. Because anywhere we go, we make the biggest mess possible, bring everyone down who has been into these Western countries, have built them up from the scratch. And why do I say that? Because I'm an immigrant myself. I'm an Indian myself. And to whoever listening this, no, you don't give a fuck about it because how you used to treat people back home, the smaller communities, have you forgotten that? You never used to sit with them, eat with them, talk with them, what your government and private schools were like? And you're complaining here that people are racist towards you. They are not racist. They are real with you. They have to show your ground because you are bloody not going to change. It's for everyone, man. It is so hard for me that I'm also filtered out in this, and it's okay. Because again, once you make a perception of things, things become bad. I'm not saying anything about the people who are doing amazing over here, trying to adjust, learning the norms, guiding themselves up to the better future, but it's for the people who are always the troublemakers, and these are the ones that have been imported into a garbage sector. They're everywhere, man. And I'm so pissed because it's my people itself that tend to come forward and behave in a way that they are kings because they came forward before us. They actually go ahead and rob us. They cheat with us, don't pay us the wages, and treat us like shit. So imagine what's going to happen with you. You think you just going to be safe doing all of this? Your karma is also coming, guys. If you do not change, you just bring your bullshit over here. Congratulations, everyone is going to hate on you. We'll see in another 5 or 6 years what's going to happen. You're so proud of your community itself that they are doing good and this and that. We'll see how many people are going to go and help you. Because at the end of the day, everyone in these Western countries, they just work for themselves and their families. There's no one else. They're not going to help you. If you're just relying on those things just because you belong to the same community in the park, congratulations, you are the biggest piece of shit possible. Hope this helps.
So you watched all these clips and see how frustrated these original Canadians are at these ethnic groups. Exactly. Now, if we give some examples, I'm sure the internet is full of examples of bad Indians in Canada. The thing is that I just want to give you a positive example of myself. Let's say I came to Canada and I started living in Brampton. Do you seriously believe the life experiences that I would have had and this YouTube channel that you're watching, I would have made those kind of videos? There is no way. There is no freaking way I would have made these videos if I started living in Brampton, which is called Little India. Because I lived in downtown Toronto, you saw these videos, how qualitatively lifestyle and positive they are. That's what I'm getting at. Because I chose to live in downtown, because I chose to be a assimilated part of the white society within downtown, not in GTA, I'm talking about in proper downtown. I chose myself to be a certain way. I call myself a Torontonian. I don't even call myself, someone from GTA. I'm a Torontonian. And I'm not one of these people who are tagged like what these people are saying, the Indian fatigue. And that's the question, the $1 million question. Can anybody of these Indian people from Brampton make the life quality videos that I have made over 16 years of my life in Canada, wonderful life in Canada? The answer is no. See the problem with this, people? These people stay within their own little circle, they die in their own circle, and they don't want to look at the other brighter side. The grass is greener on the other side. See, that's what I'm saying. I got that from GNR, from University, Guns N' Roses. Well, I'm not going to crib and waste my time. I just thought to make this video on the topic because a lot of the Canadians are getting irritated and annoyed by the Indianized mindset of Modi government and the Pakistani narrow-minded people. So I will tag the Pakistanis along with India because they are, the Donald Trump administration called the India is a land of duffers because you've got illiterate prime minister who's a tea maker, who's Modi. So naturally, Pakistan bordering India, we get that bad influence ourselves. That's all I'm going to say, people, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a thing or two, and try to be more Canadian and root for Maple Leafs and Blue Jays, and click the like to like the video and click the red button to see more of my video. Ta-ta from Shazzy.